Hello everyone, Alexander Flores here, and welcome to episode 11 of Creating a Software Company. In this video, we're going to be allowing our users to reset their passwords in case they forgot them. Okay, so I'm here in a basic resetpasswords.ejs file. I'm not going to start writing this yet. First, I want to actually write the code to render this. So we're going to listen to a GET request on reset password. And then we're going to simply response.render account/reset-password. And then there will be some stuff we want to pass in. So the first one will be errors, which will be request.session reset password errors. Very similar to how we render everything else. And there's going to be a couple more things we're going to add here, but we'll do that later on. So let's go ahead and save this. And then let's work on the HTML real quick. Okay, so here's some basic HTML. We have an h1 tag that just tells us to reset our password. Then we have a form, which is going to be a post to /reset password, which we will handle in a few moments. Then we're going to have this if statement here. So the way that the reset password flow is going to work is going to be in two different stages. The first one is going to be us asking the user what is their email. After they send us our email, we're going to send them an actual email with a verification code inside of it. Then we're going to the second stage, which is we ask the user for the verification code, their new password, and to confirm their new password. So to do this, we simply check if a status variable, which we'll pass in to this form in a few seconds, if that's exactly equal to the string email sent. If it is, then we are going to ask them for a code, password, and confirm password, and these are obviously the new password. However, if the status is not email sent, then we're just going to simply ask them for their email. Then this div right here is going to basically render all the errors to the screen so the user know what went wrong. And this is very similar to our login and sign up forms, so there's nothing new here. We then have a submit button. This will work for either stage that we're in. And then we have a message. So this is going to be like the result. So after they give us their email address, this will display some text like check your email for the verification code or something like that. So this is the basic HTML. So we want to pass in status and message as well. So let's do that over here. I'm going to say status is request.session reset password status, and then we want a very similar thing for the message. Okay, so that should work. Okay, so now that we're on the website, we see that we are on the home page, we are not logged in, and so we have the reset password right here. Let's go ahead and click on that, and it asks us for our password. Just enter the password and click reset password, and this is going to send a post request. So that gives a 404 right now because we're not handling it, but we know that that form works now. So let's go ahead and listen for router.post on, if I can type correctly, reset password. And so we're wanting to handle the two different stages with two different if statements. So the first one, we're going to see if the email is present, request.body.email. And then we have an else statement. And so right here, this is going to be ask for the code. And this right here is going to be ask for the email. And we see that this is going to work because we're only asking for the email right here. Once we hit this stage, we're not asking for the email again. Okay, so in here, we want to get a Cognito user. So let's create a user details object with the username being request.body.email and the pool being user pool. And then let's go ahead and say Cognito user equals new Amazon Cognito identity dot Cognito user and pass in user details. Then we can say Cognito user dot forgot password. And then this is going to have an object, and we're going to pass in, this is going to be on success and on failure. So on failure, we're going to be doing something very similar to the rest of our error handlers. Request.session reset password errors equals this, dot push error. So let's paste this right here. This way we're actually making sure we have an actual array to push the errors to, and also we're ignoring any previous errors with this, which is what we want to do. And then we can response.redirect back to reset password. So now here we're going to want to set the message, the status, and also store the email that they provided to us in a temporary variable. So we could say request.session reset password email equals request.body.email, and you'll see why this will be handy in a few moments. Request.session reset password status equals email sent. So this is the exact string that we are checking for right here for the status. And so now whenever we redirect to the reset password form, it'll show us the new form, which will ask for the code and new passwords. Then we can say request.session reset password message equals check your email at, and then there's a variable in this data form which I forget the exact name of, so we'll just do that for now. So we'll see it in the console. Then we go response.redirect to /reset password. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for right here, code delivery details destination. This holds our email address that we sent, but most of it is starred out. So if anyone who isn't supposed to see it can't see it. So check your email address at data.code.delivery.details.destination. So that should work. And here we go. So I just tried it again, and we see it's printing out this now. So now we're asking for a verification code, a new password, and to confirm the new password. So here's the email that we received, and here's our verification code. Let's go ahead and copy that, paste it here, and then our new password. Okay, so let's then reset the password, and nothing's happening as expected because we're not listening for post right here. So on this stage, we're actually going to go through and reset the password. So we need to create a Cognito user like we did here. However, because this form does not send in the email, we don't have access to that, which is why we stored it in the session. So we have reset password email. And then we could say Cognito user.confirm, make sure you have a capital U here, confirm password, and then we're going to pass in request.body.code and request.body.password. Also, one thing we want to do here is we want to check for errors using our validator function right up here. So get password errors. We're going to pass this in right here. So const errors equals this. We'll pass in the request. And then we could say request.session. Actually, we're doing this in this if statement as, okay, so we're doing this right here. So we don't have to actually reset that. So then we can borrow the code from up here, which I should probably make a method for, but we'll deal with that later. So then we're going to reset the password here and here. Okay, so this is just the standard way that we've been dealing with errors. So now that we have that, we have on success and on failure. So we can console log this. And then we can also say request.session reset password errors.push error, and then response.redirect to reset password to try again. Okay, so now here on success, we're simply just going to response.redirect to the dashboard. Actually, let's redirect them to login to make sure that they can still log in correctly. Okay, so we have that. Everything looks good. Let's try it out. So we're here. Let's try resetting our password. Then we have to check our email address. Here's our verification code. So we got redirected to the login, which happens here on success. So I'm assuming that this worked. Let's try logging with the new password. And we get sent to the dashboard. So everything here seemed to work. I believe that's it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.